So this video is going to be on troubleshooting when you can't get your Cricut to recognize the black registration lines on the glossy paper. As you can see, this is glossy sticker paper and I've put a laminate over top of the stickers. So I'm going to run it through now and show you what happens when I put it through without anything on it. So when it starts repeating like that, you know it's having trouble. So then I know where kind of the trouble lines are. And then you can see on here it says print then cut error. It says it can't recognize this cut sensor marks too well. So my initial solution is the one that most people already know. It's when you use Scotch tape, matte Scotch tape, the ones that look like this. And you put them all over your registration line so they don't reflect as much. So we'll try that first and see if it works. Okay, so just the wrinkles should be fine, but we'll run this through again and see what happens. You can see it's having a lot of trouble over here, and look, it's not working again. So we basically know the problem is that it reflects too much light, and so when the light shines on it, it's not picking up the black lines. And I already know that it works fine on matte paper. So what I did is I printed out the exact same image, but on matte paper. So this is matte cardstock. So I cut out the main places where it had problems recognizing the cut lines. So I cut out this piece, and one piece up here. And so after I cut it out, I put some tape on it, and then you kind of just line it up and try to line it up exactly where the lines are. So these are usually the places where my machine has the most trouble reading it. Sometimes this one here also, but let's try to put it through the machine again. So it did recognize it this time, so now it's gonna cut. So as you can see, it did manage to cut. So they cut pretty well, but honestly this is, I know, a very impractical way because you don't want to have to do this with every single sticker sheet that you have to cut. So a lot of times you just have to rearrange things on your paper, or a better solution may be to test different types of glossy paper to see which one gives you the least issues. But if you really need to cut and you really can't get your lines to be registered, this is a good method. Another thing you can do is, if you just don't want to cut out strips of paper, you can, so this is the matte cardstock, you can cut out this whole thing in the middle here. I just use a paper cutter here, and this one you can take out, so you can start cutting from where you want to. Not to be perfect. So this is how it looks like. So this whole area here is gonna be matte paper, so it should be able to recognize it now. And this is easier to place because you just match up your 8x11 piece of paper, and then it's a little bit easier to match up than just cutting the lines out. And then you can just tape it down after. And then you can go feed it through the Cricut. As you can see, it had no problem recognizing the lines, so now it's going to start cutting. So this is what they look like after I removed them from the mat. So I realized this isn't a very realistic approach to printing all your glossy sticker papers, because some glossy sticker paper works perfectly fine even without any matte tape. So this is not a long-term solution, but if you really are desperate to put out some stickers because you have orders to fill, you can definitely do this just as a short-term solution. And I hope that helps.